Hi EDU 279. I wanted to give you guys a quick shout out for what a great job you're doing on your observation reflections. I can see you making so many connections to other course concepts, sometimes going back to previous weeks, also really discussing in detail the topic at hand. I'm just really impressed with how well you guys are pulling all these pieces together, and that is the main purpose of those journals, is to articulate your understanding of the concepts in the course and what they look like in the classroom. So kudos to you for doing such a great job. I also want to do a quick overview of this week's activities. We are in week 10, starting out with vocabulary instruction. So vocabulary is obviously an important part of reading comprehension. If you don't know the meaning of the words in text, then you're not going to be able to comprehend what you're reading. And many students lack academic vocabulary. The way we talk to each other is different than written words. We usually use different terminology. We have what we call is a writer's voice, where we may speak a little more sophisticated or write a little more sophisticated than we actually speak on a day-to-day basis. And of course, many texts include rich vocabulary that children don't encounter on a day in and day out basis. So vocabulary instruction is important because it is an essential part of reading comprehension, but also because it has to be explicitly taught. All right. So this week you are challenged to look for vocabulary development instruction in the classroom. This is something that teachers are intentionally teaching. It may not be as large of a portion of the day as when you're observing for phonological awareness and phonics instruction. So if you don't see explicit vocabulary instruction, you can talk to the teacher you're observing about that and talk about how they do that, and you can also reflect on other things, make connections to other concepts we've talked about this week. Make sure you talk about vocabulary in your journal, but if you don't have as much evidence of vocabulary instruction or can't observe it directly, have a chat with your teacher you're observing about that. So you're reading chapter 8 on vocabulary instruction. Here's our friend again with her tips for different teaching strategies. She's talking about teaching vocabulary this week. This article relates to teaching strategy in general, but you will see vocabulary instruction in there. This article is specifically about vocabulary instruction, and then there is a demonstration video of vocabulary being explicitly taught. Now, what you're going to learn this week as you're reading is about the different tiers of vocabulary. Tier 1 words are the more simple, everyday words that are a part of our standard vocabulary. Tier 3 words are those more rare words that are usually related to a specific concept or even a field. Like in the field of education, we have certain vocabulary that we use that somebody who is an engineering major may not grasp, and certainly engineering majors may have vocabulary that we wouldn't grasp as well. Same with young children, as you're teaching reading, those vocabulary words, like if you're learning about a specific animal or if you're learning about a specific math concept, a tier 3 vocabulary word would be a very specialized word. So you're doing a vocabulary activity plan this week, and I ask you to choose good words from a children's literature that you want to embed in your vocabulary activity plan. You're not implementing this plan, but you will follow up on it and create a comprehension plan based on this later on down the road. Tier 2 words are the focus for instruction, because those are the words that are more prevalent in text but are very usable and will be found in more commonly in text, and they're words that we want to become a part of a child's day-to-day language. So you are focusing on tier 2 words in your vocabulary activity plan, and you need to think about how you are going to justify the words that you choose. And your textbook talks about this. You have a lot of resources this week that are going to help you understand good words to choose for vocabulary instruction and why it's important to teach vocabulary and to pre-teach vocabulary before reading. So that's a good overview of the week this week. If you have any questions, let me know. I will be out of the office on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and I will have access to my email in the evenings. So I hope you guys have a great week.